Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes, and welcome to another video. Now, let us gather round and congratulate the awesome Keanu Reeves for reaching an awesome goal, for actually writing the best-selling comic book since Marvel's Star Wars issue 1 in 2015. Now, let us see what this article says, and then I'll provide you with a little bit of information about it, as well as my own take on it. So it says the first issue of Keanu Reeves' BRZRKR, or BRZRKR comic, has sold over 600,000 copies, a record only beaten by Star Wars issue 1 from Marvel Comics. Boom Studios' BRZRKR has reached a new record, as the first issue has sold over 600,000 copies, a record eclipsed only by Marvel Comics' relaunch of the Star Wars comic series. BRZRKR artist Ron Garney posted the news on his official Facebook page, extending his gratitude to the rest of the creative team, and so on and so forth. Now, do you know why Keanu Reeves managed to do that? To publish a comic book and sell 600,000 copies, which has not been beaten by any of the mainstream or independent comic book publishers in the United States of America since 2015, so it's nearly 6 years already. It sold 600,000 copies. Not even Batman did that. If I am not wrong, the most successful comic book of the modern age, Batman 3 Jokers, sold 300,000 copies. Half of it. It was published by DC Comics. Not Marvel, not DC, but Keanu Reeves and Boom Studios. Do you know why? Because first, Keanu Reeves wanted to publish it via Kickstarter, but he was scared off from the Kickstarter by SJWs, who were, well, obviously very much jealous of him and of his, well, lifelong success, because, of course, Keanu Reeves has been around for decades as one of the greatest pop culture icons. Everybody knows Keanu Reeves from films such as The Matrix and so on and so forth, right? So, firstly that, and secondly because Keanu Reeves, he does realize what he should do in order to sell a comic book. So, before I get to that, let me just mention that he is a fan. He's a lifelong fan of comic books, and I dare say that none of the people who are actually writing comic books these days, well, except for a very few older writers, actually care about comics. Just look at their tweets, look at their Twitters, look at their Twitter accounts, look at their Facebook pages. Nobody cares about comics, truly, about good art, good storytelling, about good characters, intriguing characters, writing original stories that would evoke the feeling of catharsis in the readers. No, they care about getting Netflix deals, and they care about causing mayhem and torturing people on the internet. But Keanu Reeves does care about comics, and his campaign was, well, very interesting and very successful in that he made a couple of videos where he talked about the fact that he loves comic books, and that this particular comic book of his was going to be an action-packed ride for everybody. Now, this is a short synopsis of it, and let me, or tell me, don't you think this sounds so badass? I myself have backed this comic book. The man known only as B is half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence, even at the sacrifice of his sanity. But after wandering the world for centuries, B may have finally found a refuge, working for the US government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, B will be granted the one thing he desires: the truth about his endless blood-soaked existence, and how to end it. Now, if this doesn't sound awesome and intriguing, I don't know what does. I'm not going to show any of the videos that Keanu posted or Ron Garney posted on their internet social media accounts, because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But you've got Google, you can Google it all. But from the face and the facial expressions and the voice and everything that Keanu says, you can see and feel his excitement for this project, and what is the most important thing of all, he's connecting with the audience, with his potential readers, with his potential customers. And he even says, Alright, this is going to be published and sold in comic book stores. So please do go to your local comic book store and pre-order this comic book. And if you don't know where your nearest comic book store is, use the comic book shop locator. So by this, he pleased all the comic book shop owners that have found themselves at the verge of bankruptcy in these uneasy times. So Keanu showed that he cares, that he gives a damn about people, about fans, about the comic book industry, but most of all about good stories. So this belongs to him, this franchise. It's his. It's the most successful comic book since 2015 and was beaten only by Star Wars, the greatest and most successful franchise in the world. So he's the king right now. They are making millions of shit TV shows and movies based on shit comic books. I dare say that if Keanu wants to make a film out of this, he just needs to blink at one of these huge movie studios. And I am so very happy that there's at least one person in the pop culture industry these days who cares, who actually cares, and who knows what to do in order to do good stories and sell good product. And I'm very much looking forward to this, to getting that one, because, you know, I have to support Keanu. After all he did with this comic book, and not only that, he's like the nicest person in the world, definitely in Hollywood. So yes, definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think, my friends. If you knew about this particular project or not, or if you liked Keanu Reeves. Of course you do, everybody loves Keanu. If you share my opinions, or if your opinions differ in any way, I do reply to every comment, because I do so very much enjoy interacting with other comic book fans and pop culture fans in general, and because YouTube is not very fond of free speech oriented YouTubers such as I am. Please do not forget to like this video if you liked it, or dislike this video if you didn't like it, and subscribe to this unimportant channel of an unimportant geek talking about unimportant things if you haven't done so already, my friends, and hit that notification bell so you can get notifications for many more interesting videos to come. Alright, so yeah, that will be really all from me. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon, and bye.